your average young kid is under more danger of death from the seasonal flu. So when I spoke last night and laid out these facts. And I got home. My 5th grader doesn't want to wear a mask. My 1st grader doesn't want to wear a mask. I spoke for them. When I got home, my oldest son, he asked an interesting question. He said, Dad, how are people responding to what you said at the school board meeting? It's an interesting question. It's a good question. What I would tell you, the answer should be, what I tell my kids is, I don't really care. And let me explain why my answer was, I don't really care. Because I make sure that I am confident in my opinion, and then I don't look over my shoulder and worry about who's behind me. And I don't look in front of me and worry about who opposes me. I worry about making the best possible decision for me and my family. The most important job that I have is not radio show host. It's not the the president of a big website. It's not doing television hits as part of a television personality. It's being a dad. That's what I focus a lot, the majority of my energy. It's what I care the most about. I could be bad at radio. I could be bad at TV. I could be bad at writing. I could be bad at running my website. But if I'm a really good dad, then ultimately that's the thing that I care about the most. And what I believe we have to teach our kids is to stand up for what you believe in, use facts to make arguments, and don't be afraid of saying what you truly believe. And last night, I was impressed. So Williamson County Schools, where I live, there was a tremendous turnout, 1,000 people there probably for a school board meeting where they could only fit roughly 250 people in the room. When I left, there was still hundreds of people standing outside after I spoke. And I believe that this is what has to happen at the most grassroots level. I spoke not as a media figure, but as a dad who believes the data doesn't support my kids having to wear a mask. I don't believe the data reflects that it makes any difference at all, and I think it provides a hindrance. I also think that we're teaching our kids to be afraid of other people and to be afraid of going about their day-to-day existence when we tell them that they have to wear masks everywhere. It's my belief. You can disagree, and certainly some people did, but I was so impressed with the Williamson County parents that I met who came to speak and stand up for their kids as well. This is where grassroots activism is coming. I'm telling you, this is going to grow in a big way all over the country because there are parents fed up after 18 months of absurdity and madness and inconsistency and lacking of logic, and all of these factors rolling together are producing a huge collection of parents that are not going to stand for it anymore in this country. And I think Williamson County is emblematic of that. I'm never going to apologize. I always say my idol growing up was Davy Crockett. And Davy Crockett's life motto was, be sure you're right and then go ahead. By the time I open my mouth, whether people want to believe it or not, I am sure that my opinion is the correct one. You may disagree with me, but I'm never going to stop saying exactly what I think. And I believe that in this era, there are so many people terrified of being able to say exactly what they think because they worry about the impact of their work, they worry about the impact of their social life. I don't think about any of that. I tell you every single day for 3 hours on radio, I write it on Outkick, I talk it on the television, I talk it on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you guys are consuming this right now, I tell you exactly what I think. And the data is clear and transparent as day. There is no basis whatsoever to be putting kids in masks anywhere in this country, period. That's what the data tells me. So I was honored to be able to speak as a parent on behalf of my kids. When I got home, my kids were thankful that I had gone out and spoken, as I'm sure many other parents of kids found their similar conversations all over this country. It's time for parents to stand up against these draconian restrictions as it pertains to masks in school. Republicans, Democrats, independents, people with a reasonable and functional brain, look at the data and let it drive you. Don't allow yourself to be overtaken by fear and by public pressure. Say what you really believe, square your shoulders, and own it. It's what I do every single day. I'm proud to be a part of the Williamson County parents who stood up against masks, even though they implemented a ridiculously stupid rule that requires 5-year-olds to 11-year-olds to have masks. I'm going to be tweeting out shortly a form which allows you to have an exemption for your kids to not have to wear masks, either religious or medical in nature, and they cannot fight against it. So I would encourage every single parent to download that form and file it at their school and put their kids in school without wearing masks.